Today's show is brought to you by LD's Jamaica Art, the finest Jamaican art, located at shop number 48, Ocean Village Shopping Center, Ocho St. Anne, Jamaica. Or you may call them at 1-876-974-2764 or 1-876-895-1288. Remember, for all your finest Jamaican art, visit the LD's Jamaican Art, located at shop number 48, Ocean Village Shopping Center, Ocho St. Anne. Visit them today. Yes, welcome to another show with me, of course, your girl, Charlene Clark Curo. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about success. And we all have our own definition of success, and success is based on our ideals or values or mission or goals, right? And we define success based on what we desire, what we want for ourselves. So I believe that, to understand how to become successful or and remain successful is an important topic. Do you agree with me? I believe it's an important topic. And so today we will be talking a little bit about success, remaining successful, identifying how to be successful, and also to prepare ourselves, position ourselves for success. But of course, the show is my opinion, your opinion, and as such, I want to remind you of this. Stay, please don't go.
Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the author and guests to the show and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the radio station. Assumptions made in the discussions are not reflective of the position of any entity other than the author and the guest, and since we are critically thinking human beings, these views are always subject to change, revision, and rethinking at any time. Please do not hold us to them in perpetuity.
Now that we understand, and now that we know that this is a safe place for us to come and share our opinion or views without being ridiculed, without being, us being judgmental of each other, let's get into the show. So, welcome to the Nightcap program. My name is Charlene Clark Curo, and I will be your host for this evening. And today we will delve into the secrets of success and how mindset and dedication play a crucial role or play an important role in leading a successful life. Now, before we get there, let's explore some definition of success. Yes, and my definition of success might differ from yours, and and it will be skewed based on my ideals, my goals, my aspirations, my mission, what I want out of life. So it is suffice to say that success can be very subjective, because if it is that each of us might view success differently, For example, I might view success based on my acquisition, my material acquisition. So if I have 10 houses, 15 cars, a bank account that is as large as India, then I might use those things to define success in comparison with someone who might be healthy, in a holistic way, leading a healthy life. They are not ailing in any way, shape, or form. Their mental stability is there. They might use that to define their success. So it depends on how we view success, where we want, because success for each individual means that they have arrived to that place that they started the journey for. For example, I need to get to a place where I am debt free. And so I have arrived at that place. So I am going to use that, you know, um, ability that I would have implemented to arrive at such place to define success. So success can be very subjective, and it range from personal accomplishments to professional achievements. I might say, well, then by the end of 2024, I want to acquire my master's degree in clinical psychology. And at the end of 2024, I would have acquired that degree. And so when someone asks me to define success, in the back of my mind, I'm using the ability or the fact that I have acquired this degree that I would have set out to accomplish to define, success. So not no, success is very subjective, and it often involves setting and achieving goals. And these goals you would have heard about short-term and long-term goal. So it involves setting and achieving both short-term and long-term goal. Let's talk a little bit about the short-term and long-term goal. Now, and I'll be using a lot of examples. So your long-term goal, since we're adults here, yes, your long-term goal perhaps could be acquiring a home. You're now paying a rent, right? Or you're leasing somewhere. And so your long-term goal is to acquire a home. That is your long-term goal, for example. Now, your short-term goal should be designed to support your long-term goal. So your short-term goal should not be focusing on going back to school or driving the latest vehicle or having children, because that is not supporting your long-term goal. What type of support do you need? So this is how you make goals. What type of support do you need to arrive at your long-term goal? So if your long-term goal is to acquire a home because you want to move out of this position where you are leasing a property or you are paying a rent for somewhere, you want to move out of that into paying a mortgage, because of course, unless you have the cash and you want to purchase a home cash, kudos to you. But then you will have to pay a mortgage. So you want to swap your rent payment, your monthly rent payment, for a monthly mortgage payment, because mortgage means that you are on your way to acquiring the home. Because when you're paying the mortgage, you have not yet acquired the home. A lot of us don't understand that the home does not belong to us. It belongs to the bank, because that is why we have to be paying the bank on a monthly basis, right? I was just thinking about something, and I'll share it with you later. So the monthly mortgage means that is an indication that, hey, 25 years from now, perhaps 20 years from now, perhaps 15 years from now, depending on your age, right? I will be owning this home. But right now, the mortgage is an indication that I am on my way, as opposed to a rent. The rent or the lease payment means that I am assisting someone to maintain and keep this home, because you're paying the rent to an individual or you are paying a yearly lease to an individual means that you're helping them to keep their home, to keep their building. That's what you're doing, as opposed to a mortgage where I'm positioning myself to owning this home as soon as, I would have, honored my loan, because that's why you pay a mortgage. Now, your short-term goal, for example, should be, what are the criteria that would enable me to move out of a situation of paying rent into a situation of, into the possibility of paying a mortgage. So that would be that is how you would design your short-term goal, because a lot of persons don't understand the difference or the differences between short-term and long-term goal. So your short-term goal should support your long-term goal. So here we're talking about the house. So what would the short-term goals be like for me to acquire the home I desire? So perhaps it could be, okay, I need to save more, right? How do I save more? Perhaps it could be, I need to perhaps seek another job or venture in some other type of entrepreneurial activity. Perhaps it could be, yes, it could be that, because listen, it could be that you need to go to school, right? It could be that where you are, the stage you are now, the degree that you hold, or the qualifications, yes, that you hold. Because in this society, it's either you have good networking capabilities or you have the paper. So if you don't have the paper, then you have to have persons who like you and will put you in positions, right? But if you don't have that kind of networking happening for you, you don't have that, social circle, I want to call it, then you will need to acquire the necessary documents that the society say that you must have in order to obtain a job, right? If you are an entrepreneur, well, you also need to be networking well, right? So that persons would want to seek your product, persons will become interested in your product, and you will have that opportunity to advertise your product. Person will get to know you, right? So that too is important. So let's say you're not so much into the networking, or your social circle would not facilitate you acquiring a good enough job or moving into the entrepreneurial sphere of things in order to acquire your long-term goals. So it means, therefore, that you probably will have to go to school and get some skills. Now, to do that, you have to look at the job market, because, of course, you should not be just going to school to get some skills out of the blues. You should be looking at the job market to see what jobs are becoming obsolete. Many of them are becoming obsolete, especially now that we have the AI tools and all these things happening, advanced in technology. So you should be observing the job market to see what jobs are becoming obsolete and what jobs are becoming, prominent, so to speak. What jobs are important. No, I tell anyone that if you have a skill, you're good. So if you know if you are an electrician, if you are able to do plumbing, if you are a carpenter, if you have hardcore skills, you just need to know how to use them. So if you're going back to school, you look at the job market to determine what area of study I need to do so that I can get a better job towards facilitating my long-term goals. So this is how you make the short-term goals. Yes, you make your short-term goals should be made based on your long-term goals. Yes, so that the short-term goals are supporting your long-term goals. Because if not, when you sleep, you should sleep thinking about that home that you desire. Yes, when you move through different space, you move in a way with a thought in the back of your head. Ask yourself, is this somewhere I need to go? And if I'm going here, how will it help me in the future? I might sound crazy. I might sound crazy, and if I do, I'm not sure if I should apologize, because I can tell you the method to my madness. But I do believe that wherever you go, you should not be in every space all the time, every time, and you should not be saying yes all the time. You should always be analyzing your movements, always in the back of your head, thinking about what I want my future to look like. So if I'm going here, how will it help me in the future? I'm not saying that you don't need to relax, you don't need to have fun. I'm not saying that. No, we all need to have fun in our own way. We all need that type of relaxation, because that too is necessary for our mental health. But I'm saying on a daily, be purpose with what you do. Yes. So that's the first thing. So you're for the example, you need a home, you need to be paying mortgage as opposed to be paying rent or a lease. You look at designing your short-term goal and designing your long-term goal. But first, you should not, I shouldn't say can, those are some strong words, can and can't and all those things. But especially when our discussion is opinionated, you should not be designing short-term goals before your long-term goals. Your long-term goals should be designed before your short-term goals, because your long-term goals will help to determine what your short-term goals should look like, right? So your mindset, that's another thing I want to talk a little bit about. And I believe based on my introduction, mindset would come out, how we do our thing, when we do our thing, where we do our thing, why we do our thing, in the manner that we do our thing. Right? But your mindset is very important when it comes to success. And here is why. Let me tell you this. Your mind is very, very powerful. The mind is very, very powerful. Many of us don't understand how powerful the mindset is. Very, very powerful. No, here is why our mindset is very, very powerful. The mind. If someone asks you to carry out an activity, they take you to the place to carry out this activity. And you say to that individual, I am not going to be doing this activity. I decline. And they say to you, well, oh yeah, you decline? Okay. And they take you to the place and say, well, then this is where we want you to carry out this activity. Do it now. And if you are firm in your mindset to say, well, then I am not doing it, there is no way it will be done. Of course, they might abuse you to try to get you to do it. But if in the mind, here, your mindset, if you already made up your mind that, listen, matters not what is said, what is done to me, the perception of people, here, I already told myself that this activity I will not be doing. It will not be done. So the mindset is very, very powerful when it comes to success. And when I talk about the mindset refers to the attitudes, the beliefs, the perception that shape how we perceive and respond to the world around us. Think about it a little bit. Think about it for a moment. Our perception drives our action, our attitude, how we view things, how we see things. Think about it. It starts here. So if the mindset is right here, meaning RIGHT, if it is right from here, then there's no way you will make a mistake when it is implemented because it starts here. So from here, you prepare yourself that, listen, success is what I'm after, and success is what I'm going to do. And so even when I'm eating, when I'm cooking, I'm thinking about my long-term goal and how the things that I'm doing will help me to arrive at my long-term goal. And it starts here. A growth mindset characterized by resilience, persistence, and willingness to learn is often associated with success. I can't repeat that. But if you want your mindset to grow, if you want to ensure that you are successful, you have to be persistent, you have to be willing to learn, you have to be resilient. So when I speak about mindset as it pertains to or in relation to success, you have to understand that if we are fragile here, then whatever it is that we're going to do will be weak if we are fragile here. If we're thinking that I'm going to try out this thing, I want to own my own home. And I'm using that for the example throughout the show. Yes, I want to own my own home. But I don't believe I can do it. I'm too old to go back to school to acquire new skills. I'm too old to start over. I have too many kids and I have to, in my time, before I became a mother, my child has changed me so much. I was talking about the change that I've gone through since I became a mother with my dad just today. We were having that discussion, and he agreed too, because of course he is, he has seen and still seeing some of the changes. My child has changed me so much, right? And I remember, before I became a mother, there were things that were being said by people whom I thought could give good, you know, um, suggestions toward becoming successful, toward leading, a successful life. And I remember one of the things that they would remind me of is that, listen, all that you have to do, you better do it now before you become a parent. Because once you become a parent, you can't go back to school, you can't own a home, it is going to be rough, it is going to be tough. As a matter of fact, if you are not if you are not successful, if you have not acquired most of the things before you become a parent, your life will end. That is it for you. And let me tell you this, viewers and listeners, let me tell you this. I own my home, and I should say our home, after I become a parent. After I became a parent, I saw more success in my life after I became a parent. After I became a mother was when I saw more success in my life, because that's when I saw some changes in me. I started making some changes because I recognized that these changes were necessary if I want to be a good mother to my child, if I want to be able to sustain his need, I mean, be sustainable, so to speak, so that I can provide for him. Because of course you do have the mother and the father, but that's not my mindset. That wasn't my mindset. My mindset was, I am his mother. So I must be able to take good care of him financially, emotionally, mentally. And if I do not position myself to do so financially, mentally, emotionally, then I would have failed. I wrote my book, my first book after I became a mother. I I, I could tell you more and more, but then that's a different show. So I said all of that to say this: perception and mindset, depending on the individual perception and mindset, will determine your success. Because if I listened to someone else's perception of success, then all I would be today is a mother and nothing else, just a mother. Because if I had listened, I'd be telling myself, hey, they say that, when you become a mother, you can't do these things I'm not going to do. Because already I'm telling myself that I can't, so I'm not going to do. So all I would be today is a mother. If I had allowed the perception of those persons who were telling me that everything was impossible, going back to school, I've registered, I've gone through so many courses since I became a mother, and now finishing up my PhD. So if I had listened to all those perceptions, because that's what they are, perceptions. They're perceptions. If I had listened today, all I would be is a mother. And I can tell you that all my success in life, be it small or large, it's still success, came after I became a mother. So the mindset, and that is why it's important for you to understand self. Because if you don't understand self, then you will be led. And to be led is not so much of a bad thing, but you also must understand why you're being led. What's the purpose of this type of, direction, or what's the purpose of this type of, leader follower relationship? You must understand that. So the mindset is very important when it comes to success. Yes. All right. So I want to move into talking a little bit about, the dedication and success and all these beautiful things. But listen, let us take a short break. I'll be right back.
Unlock the blueprint for flourishing organizations, unleash success for both teams and leaders. In the 5 organizational sins, I embark on a profound exploration of 5 insidious culprits that have silently undermined companies, thwarting progress, fracturing relationships, and tarnishing reputations. Ego, bossiness, cronyism, classism, and vindictiveness. These are the concealed adversaries that have silently plagued countless organizations. Drawing from a wealth of experience in the corporate arena, I lay bare the devastating repercussions of these vices and furnish you with the precise strategies to conquer them. Unearth practical wisdom to metamorphose your workplace into a vibrant hub of productivity, collaboration, and personal development. Why this book demands your attention? I give you 4 reasons. 1. To glean invaluable wisdom cultivated through years of corporate experience, guiding you through the intricate landscape of organizational dynamics. 2. To equip yourself with the tools to identify and root out these destructive organizational sins that hinder growth and innovation. 3. To elevate your professional odyssey, whether you are an aspiring employee seeking fulfillment or an employer striving to cultivate a thriving workplace. And 4, embrace a fresh perspective that will revolutionize your approach to work, leadership, and teamwork. Now, if you're ready to elevate your organization and embrace a more gratifying professional life, don't hesitate to secure your copy. The 5 Organizational Sins is now available on Amazon. Get your copy now.
All right, so you can go out and get my book. It's available on Amazon. And of course, it's very relevant if you want to become successful, whether you're a mom, a dad, a pastor, a business person, a student. This book is I know it's talking about 5 organizational sins, but it's very, 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 very relatable. It's very applicable and it's very versatile. Of course, you can go out and get that. All right. So talking a little bit about dedication and success. Now, dedication, when we talk about dedication involves commitment, right? Hard work and perseverance towards a particular goal or objective. Now, what that is saying, right, is when you are dedicated, you must understand that comes what may, you have to stay true to the course. Now, failure is a part of success, and I might sound crazy again. Failure is a part of success. You only fail when you stop trying. So if you fail and decide that, listen, I am not moving, I am not doing, I am disappointed in self, and this is it for me, that is the moment that you would have failed. But if you move after something and you did not acquire it at that moment and you continue to try, you would not have failed. What happened in that kind of attitude is that you have learned that, listen, perhaps I need to go back to the drawing board, look at my approach and try again. So failure, you only fail when you stop trying. So failure is a part of success. So to be dedicated and committed toward achieving success, one must understand the importance of failure. You will fail. You will fail because at the first, second, third try, you're not. Think about learning to drive. Think about learning to drive for a moment. How many times you failed? How many times, even some of us who have learned and have passed the test, we still make mistakes. We still don't know. I'm not sure if they're doing parallel. Well, I didn't do parallel parking when I was doing my test. But nonetheless, many of us still don't know how to do parallel parking. That's a part of the test. So because you know that you want to acquire a car, you want to be able to own and drive your own car, you continue to try amidst the number of failures. And many a times we don't sit and look at the simple things in life that we do in a committed way because we are determined to acquire something and apply that, make it applicable throughout everything that we do in our life in terms of becoming successful. A divorce. If you apply the fact that, listen, you didn't get it right the first time, let us look at the things that we did wrong and see if we can go back to the drawing board and come again and do it differently. You would not have so many people divorcing. But we all have our driver's license amidst the numerous failure that we would have experienced because we want that car. We want to be driving our own car. We want to be mobile. We want to be independent. I mean, I got mine. because I was tired of my husband taking me out. Well, not tired. I shouldn't say that, but he had to be taking me all over the place. I decided, listen, hey, I need to get this driver's license, um, so that I can. But beside, let me explain that though, because I've had my driver's license for years. But living in the United States, it's different, right? We drive on the other side of the road in Jamaica. And so, of course, as a tourist there for a period of time, I could drive using my Jamaican driver's license. But I living there, living in the United States, of course, I had to acquire my own driver's license, or I would have to depend on someone to be taking me all wherever I wanted to go. And so I went and got my own driver's license. But of course, it had to start here. So whatever I did, whatever was required, let me put it this way, whatever was required to be a good driver in Jamaica, and I believe I am a good driver, right? In Jamaica, I had to do the reverse to be a good driver in the United States of America, because everything that we do in Jamaica on the road, it's opposite in terms of usage of the road. The signs and everything else remain the same because that's a global language. Red is still stop, green is still go, amber is still prepared to stop, right? Yellow, right, is still prepare yourself to stop, right? So those are global language that we all have to follow, right? But I'm talking about how we use the road. So everything, if I'm approaching a roundabout, I had to do the opposite. So in my mind, I already prepared myself by saying, listen, the opposite of everything. And I was so determined. I did the test one and I passed it. Now, if we are determined with the things that we are in the things that we do in our lives toward becoming and remaining successful, the way we are determined to get that driver's license because we want to drive the car, many of us would be better today, to include myself. And so dedication is very important in the midst of success. Successful individuals often exhibit high levels of dedication. They also exhibit consistent consistency in their action, consistently putting in the effort required to achieve their aspirations. Sometimes we'll see persons like these and believe that they have no life. They are just tunnel vision, but that's not the case. They know exactly what they want, and so they apply themselves in a fulsome way. Not that they don't know how to enjoy themselves, they don't know how to party, they don't know how to have a conversation. But remember how I started, be purposed with whatever it is that you're doing. So everything, most things that they do, they always do it in a way where it is going to support the long-term goal. And so many of us who don't understand that type of dedication would say that person is antisocial, or that person is too serious, or that person doesn't know how to enjoy life, and that kind of a thing. I'm not talking about, from one level to the next level in terms of from one extreme to the next. I'm not talking about extremists here, because that is not required. You need balance. But when in relation to being successful and remaining successful, you have to be dedicated. And to be dedicated means that you have to consistently put your efforts into everything that is required to achieve your goals that you would have designed for yourself, which is, using the same example, acquiring that home that you so desire. You made those goals for yourself. So it means, therefore, and when I say goals, I'm talking about your long-term goals and your short-term goals, remembering that your short-term goals must support your long-term goals. So when we talk about growth mindset, growth mindset, growth mindset will require us to be resilient. To maintain and have a growth mindset, it will require us to be persistent. Learning attitude is also important because you have to, and when I say learning, some things we have to unlearn to relearn those things that will help us to become successful and remain successful, because some of us believe in some things and have learned some things through association and all other kind of connections and the way we perceive things. We all would need to unlearn some of those things so that we can relearn the new things that will take us on a path of success. Your work ethic is also important. I can share with you that the one of the hardest things for me to do is to get out of my bed in the mornings, the early mornings. And I decided that I have to work on this, because when I do get out of the bed, and I'm talking like 4:30, 5 o'clock, when I do get out of the bed early in the mornings, I recognize that my day, it flows with such greatness. It's like I'm in a botanical garden, but that doesn't happen. It never usually happened on a regular basis, because that would be a one-off situation for me where I would get out of bed 4:30 in the morning, because like I said, that was one of my challenge. And if I'm telling you about my challenge, it means that I've worked on it, because I do not share my weakness until I've worked on it. And that is another discussion we'll have. I'll tell you why in another show. So I decided that no, I need to overcome this challenge of mine. And so I had to put it here first. So I told myself that this is something that I need to overcome, because I like the way I felt when those mornings when I would, get out of bed early. I like the way I felt. I was more alert. I was able to do more things at work. So I need to feel like this on a daily. It can't be so bad. What is happening? Why is it that I am not able to say bed goodbye at 4:30 in the mornings? Because of course the bed is nicer in the mornings. And so what did I do? I registered for a personal gym session, and my morning class at the gym starts at 5 o'clock. But not only that, I have to drive for half an hour before I get to my gym session. So where the location of the gym is half an hour from where I live. So it means, therefore, if I have a 5 o'clock appointment with my gym instructor, they call them, personal trainer. With my personal trainer, it means that I have to start my journey at least 4:30 in the mornings. And now, if I have that appointment, I have to pay for that appointment. And if I pay for that appointment and I miss the appointment, no monies will be returned to me, because I would have wasted his time. And so I thought about it logically, that listen, I am going to fight this challenge. And that's how I overcame the challenge. So I find that I'm getting up early in the mornings, and it started with an alarm clock. And now I have my natural alarm. Even if I go to bed 1 a.m., by 4 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m., I am up out of bed, because automatically I have practiced getting out of bed at a particular time, I don't need the alarm anymore, because automatically my body would have acclimatized to that time, getting up at that time. I mean, I don't know. God is good. The body is different. And so that is how I fix the challenge. So many of us, we have to unlearn certain things to relearn. And again, the mindset, for a growth mindset, you should. I recommend that you do these things that I'm suggesting. You have to be goal oriented. So your goal orientation will also help with your growth mindset and high dedication. You have to have goals. You can't just be living and working without any end goal. Why? If you have no direction, then you are going nowhere. Your journey will take you nowhere if you have no direction. Think about it. You're journeying forever. Where are you going? You haven't a clue. You will end up nowhere. Yes. And achievement, you have to be an high achiever. You want to ensure that your success rate is high. You have to ensure that you are an high achiever. And nothing is wrong with that, as long as you have humility. In everything that we do, it is important for us to remain and to be humble. Let me share something with you, and I'll just wrap up right after this.
Are you currently navigating personal challenges or difficulties seeking professional support? Solution offers comprehensive counseling services to assist you in areas such as grief, couples counseling, individual counseling, family mediation, and overall mental and emotional well-being. Contact us today for soulful healing.
All right. So, of course, that's Petunia, and of course, you can contact her if you need that type of service. If you can't get through to her, just contact me. Of course, please, we've been talking. I have been talking for so long, and I've not yet reminded you. Please share your comments. How have you remained successful? What are you doing to achieve success? Have you already made your long-term and your short-term goals? And are your goals aligning? Right? Is your short-term goal supporting your long-term goal? What is it that you think? This is something that I want each and every viewer who is watching, who is listening, to do. Drop in the comment for me. What are some of the things that you will have to unlearn in order to become successful or remain successful? What are some of the things that you will have to change about your short-term goal in order to make sure that it is aligning or supporting your long-term goal? Or is it that you need to, write your pen your short-term goal and your long-term goal? You have not yet made any. Drop it in the comments and let us have a discussion. And do remember, if you need my service, you can email me at hrm@designedtoinspire.biz, or you can send me a WhatsApp on these numbers that is showing below here. You can send me a WhatsApp, and of course, I will be more than willing to engage you. Yes. So let's wrap this up. We've been talking about success and how to remain successful and what you need to be successful, and talking about this growth mindset and all these beautiful things. But there are some strategies for cultivating success, and so a successful, well, the tongue twister here. My mind is going faster than how I can speak. So to cultivate success mindset and then dedication, there are some strategies that I want to share with you, and these are: encourage continuous learning and self-improvement. Do not be stagnant. Always try to learn. Listen, the world is change constantly. We are always changing. Things are always changing. So if you remain stagnant, then you are not learning and you cannot flow or go with the changes. So always endeavor to learn new things, to learn new skills, to understand, what is happening in your surroundings. So I encourage continuous learning and self-improvement. Do not believe, never harbor the thought that you have arrived. Also, set smart goals. And many of us, we all know, let me not assume, but we should know what SMART goals are. They should be specific. Be very specific about what it is that you need to be successful. They should be measurable. If you have $0 in your account, you will not be able to own a home in 2 years. If your credit is bad, you don't have you don't have good credit score, you will not be able to attain a home in 2 years, because of course your mortgage depends on those things. Acquiring a home depends on those things. So ensure that it is measurable and achievable, and also relevant, and always have a time bound objective. So that is the whole essence of setting SMART objectives. Time bound, ensure that whatever it is that you're doing, even for me, for example, if I am tasked to carry out a certain function at work, let me talk about my 9 to 5, and I'm giving a response, I'm responding to say, this will be done by such and such a time. I am not just going to send a blank response by saying, thank you very much, I'll get it done. No, I will get it done by such and such a time. For my own business, my own personal business, and my own development, even if I'm cleaning my home, even if I'm cleaning the home and I decide that, okay, I'm going to clean my home, bedroom. Let's narrow it down to the bedroom. Okay, so I have to work, I have these things to do, so then I will clean my bedroom by 10 o'clock Sunday evening. So that is how you ensure that because when you're time bounded, so to speak, it means, therefore, that you're putting yourself in a position to ensure that you do what you need to do because you have a certain time that you're working with. And that is going to require dedication. We already spoke about dedication. I also made mention that failure is a part of success. And that being said, you need to embrace challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth. Because if you don't learn from your setback or your challenges, you cannot grow. And if you don't have setback and challenges while you are trying to grow, then something is fundamentally wrong, because the world was not designed in that way. The world was not designed for everything to be, beautiful and peaches and cream, because if that was the case, you and I would not be having this discussion, because would be busy on a yacht somewhere. So embrace your challenges and your setbacks and use them as stepping stone towards achieving your long-term goal. I want to also suggest that in order to cultivate a success mindset and dedication, I believe that we should foster a supportive environment, an environment that nurtures dedication and resilience. What do I mean by that, though? Is it for those of us who have some negative people in our environment that will drain your energy? I prefaced this show by saying that you don't have to say yes to everyone. You don't have to go everywhere. Even in my own, personal development, if an organization reach out to me because they want my service, they want me to, speak at a particular event, I have to look at the type of event and determine if this event aligns with what I'm doing. And if it doesn't, I'm saying no. I'm not even looking at, the compensation and all those things. Some persons would call them perks. I'm not looking at the perks. I'm looking at whether or not this activity, this function that I will be the keynote speaker for, is aligning with my business objectives. And if it doesn't align with my business objectives, then I am not going to be at this function. You don't have to say yes to everything, everyone. You have to find that supportive environment that will nurture your goals and aspiration. Because people come in your space, yes, to help, to build you, and then you have people in your space for the purpose of tearing you down. So you have to ensure that you sieve out the negativity. And when I say sieve it out, I'm not saying you should completely ignore, because of course sometimes the negative things that are said, or the negative things that comes your way, those negative things that you would have experienced, will also help you to do the right things towards becoming successful. But be smart about it. All right. So success is not merely a destination. To sum it up, it's not a destination. In my view, in my opinion, it's not merely a destination, but it is a journey that is fueled by the right mindset and dedication. And by adopting a growth mindset and committing to dedicated effort, we all can unlock our full potential and lead fulfilling, successful lives. And this is what I want to share with you today. Well, as a matter of fact, this is what I, decided to share with you today, that we all can unlock our full potential towards becoming successful, remaining successful through the power of mindset and dedication. Let me hear your views. Let me hear your thoughts. Do remember that you can go to my webpage. It's right below here as well. Go to my website and, look at the various services I have. And, you can also follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook. Just type in my name, Charlene Clark here. I'm there. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Yes. You can follow. But listen, if you are watching this show and you have not yet subscribed, please go right ahead and subscribe, providing that you like the information and you want to hear more and you want to be notified, weekly when I have my show. So if you are watching this show and you have not yet subscribed, please do go right ahead and subscribe. There will be more and more and more on top of more and more coming your way, because of course, I am Charlene Clark Cure, and this is the Nightcap Show. Thank you so very much for listening. Let's hear your views right here in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you next time.